All right, everyone, let's get our second character going. Here we have a fresh... Oh, there's nothing like a nice, empty character sheet. Let's begin the process again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Let's roll a percentile set to find out if we have a female or a male character. 57, we have a male character. And the race of our character is going to be determined on a 35-sided die. (24). We have a Lizardfolk, everyone. That's from Volo's Guide to Monsters. All right, so we have a male Lizardfolk. Lizardfolk are medium-sized creatures, so we'll just drop that in there. We'll use the balanced odds once again for the alignment. 98, we have another chaotic evil character. Oh my gosh. All right then. Our alignment is, so we have another free spirit. Maybe our Lizardfolk and our Loxodon here are sort of societal outliers, or I don't know, maybe they enjoy spontaneity together. The level at which we'll generate this character is... I rolled a 92. We're making a level 19 character. Level 19. That means we're going to have access to 5 ability score improvements, which could be feats. I'm going to roll a percentile set, and we're going to find out if we're replacing any ASIs with feats. 77, yes. We are going to take 1 feat instead of a stat bump. Now for the background, this is going to be simply a 3-sided die. We have 3 Ghosts of Saltmarsh custom backgrounds remaining. We have Marine, Shipwright, and Smuggler. Marine. We have a Marine. And let's take a look at that content real quick like. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Marines, there are 6 different hardships we've endured. So what that's going to mean, we're going to roll 2d8 for the personalities, and then 4d6. 1 for the hardship, and 3 for the ideal bond and flaw. So personality traits 1 and 2. And now for our 4d6. 2, 2, 1, and 4. Two, 2, 1, and 4. So there's our placeholders. We'll come back to what it means in just a little bit. I want to keep rolling dice for right now. Now it's time to determine our class and subclass. So once more, we have our golden D12. I'm going to roll it, and then we'll find out which subclass we're going to be looking at. 10. We have a Sorcerer. There are 5 different Sorcerers. The Storm Sorcerer is listed in 2 different sources. So, I'm not going to weight it to be heavier. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to roll a D5, and let's find out which kind of Sorcerer we have. 5. A wild magic sorcerer. That is going to be interesting on board of a ship. Now let's find our Lizardfolk stats. Turtles. Lizardfolk, here we go. Let me go back and chat. I missed a little bit of stuff here. Simics might be fun in Saltmarsh. Yeah, you can get a fun Simic hybrid in there, wouldn't you? Fallon is given some cat butt. Had 140 gold less than 40 days into WoW from fishing. Lizardfolk on a ship. Blasphemy, says 12-sided guy. Not a bullywug. I call hack, says Lazy Monkey. Pirates in the making, says Old Port. They both like to run around naked. Well, one has actually, they both might have natural armor. Or at least one has natural armor, the other one has natural weapons. Most lizard folk have 2 feet. Marine is really interesting. 19th level Marine. This guy has seen stuff, man. We don't know. We don't know, man. That poor, poor ship, says Lazy Monkey. Chaotic Evil Wild Magic Sorcerer. I give the ship 10 minutes, maybe less. He really has seen stuff we just don't know. That's right, 12-sided. The ship hasn't got a chance in the 9 hells. He's probably been in stuff we just don't know. How'd you even survive to level 19 as a wild magic sorcerer? Carefully, answers 12-sided. Ozzy says, this is weird. I have a wild magic sorcerer and lizard folk in my campaign. Well, then we'll do a fusion dance, and this could have been that character. All right, let's roll a percentile set and find out how old he is. We rolled a 59, so we have another adult. And so an adult in Lizardfolk is going to be 14 plus 1d16 years. 8. So he is 22 and is considered an adult by Lizardfolk standards. We start at 4 feet 9 inches tall, and we're going to add 2d10 inches to his height. We're adding 15 inches. All right, so we are 4 foot 24, so we are 6 feet tall. And now we're going to take that 15 and multiply it by the results of 2d6. 15 times 10, we're adding 150. He is 270 pounds at 6 foot tall. Ooh, these two characters are made for each other. They can tussle with the best of them. You're waiting for the child 19th level Marine? Of course, yeah, with wild magic it wouldn't even be weird. He likes to eat. But what or who? All right, we have finished our random number generation. Actually, wait, there's one more. There are 5 different crew positions, or not crew, officer positions aboard the ship. Quartermaster, the navigator, went to our Loxodon. I will roll a d5, and let's find out which officer position this character holds aboard the ship. So we have captain, first mate, bosun, which is the engineer, kind of, repair and whatnot, surgeon, and cook. D5, and let's roll it, everyone. We have a 4. Captain, first mate, bosun, surgeon. He is the ship's surgeon. Oh God, poor bastards, says Old Port Media. All right. This is a spicy character we're making, everyone. Oh my goodness. let's let's start with the background and find out who our character is, and you know what he was before he was a Marine or even the ship surgeon or whatnot. Uh, so as a Marine, we have skill proficiencies in athletics and survival. We have tool proficiencies, both water vehicles and land vehicles. Let's see. We also have a dagger that belonged to a fallen comrade, a folded flag emblazoned with the symbol of your ship or company, a set of traveler's clothes, and a belt pouch. So here, I'm going to do this. Traveler's clothes. And a belt pouch containing 10 gold. Now, I think what we can do, right, if we have a dagger that belonged to a fallen comrade, we could just have that be a dagger up here. Or we can take this as a prompt that perhaps we have some kind of a trinket. Something that belonged to a fallen comrade, or even a comrade that could still be alive. Again, we're using this as inspiration, a thinking point, a starting point. So, why don't we do this? Why don't we have a trinket? Trinket number something, and we'll determine what the trinket is, and this will help us flesh out more of this character, and of course, remember, this is world building. Not only do we have our player character, now we have or had someone existing in this world that meant something to this character, or still does mean something. We don't always have to take it in the past tense. And then we'll have a representative flag. Now, our background feature is steady. You can move twice the normal amount of time, up to 16 hours, each day before being subject to the effect of a forced march. Additionally, you can automatically find a safe route to land a boat on shore, provided such a route exists. You know what? He and this navigator would work very well together. Lazy Monkey says the captain will be a first-level gnome bard. The dagger got wild magicked into a cat. Hey, that could be fun, too. Maddie just inspired his name. You want to call him Meatball? Oh, I'd love some meatballs. I don't know if you've been out to Olive Garden lately. They have this, like, gigantic meatball dish on a plate of spaghetti. It's like $15, but my goodness. This is a big meatball they put on there. It is good stuff. All right. Enough about meatballs. What is the hardship that our Marine has endured? We had result number 2. Captured. You spent months enduring thirst, starvation, and torture at the hands of your enemy, but you never broke. Maybe that's how his wild magic came into being, right? Under stress and duress, you know, he was thinking, he was trying to find a way out, and his body manifested magic, and that's how he ended up escaping. Now, of course, because we have this result, you know, so he was a prisoner of war or whatnot. As a dungeon master, we have a prompt to think about who is this enemy. Do they still exist? Is it an enemy ship? Is it an enemy country? Could it even be maybe he discovered something within his own ranks, and he was going to blow the whistle, but he was captured by his own people before he could do that. And maybe that broke him from being a disciplined, loyal Marine into being kind of like Frank Castle. Yeah, there's a couple references like that in the trinkets, 12-sided. I was cautious a bit too, Old Port, but however they did it, they did it well. It was good. I would recommend the giant meatball at Olive Garden. Of course, I mean, you might have a cook there that undercooks it or dries it out, but the one that I had at my local one was good. So these are things to think about, right? He was captured by someone, and he was tortured and starved and thirsted. Now, let's look at his personality traits. And remember, the way that he is expressing himself is through being kind of impulsive and selfish. So let's take a look at what we have. Personality traits 1 and 2. I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit so we can see. Personality trait 1 reads as follows. I speak rarely, but mean every word I say. You know what? Maybe he's a surgeon because he's definitely seen his own anatomy, let alone other people's, if he's been held up in a torture environment. And number 2. I laugh loudly and see the humor in stressful situations. So this could end up manifesting as some morbid humor. You know, the sailors come back after a shark attack, and, you know, they're like, medic, medic! And, you know, they're hauling up this person onto the deck, and the surgeon might come out and say, I can't sew hamburger back into a cow. And, of course, he might laugh, because, I don't know, he could use magic or something, but, you know, so he might be making these, these jokes at inopportune times. Oh, that Call of Cthulhu platter, Old Port, yeah, that sounds really good, actually. He's probably been a potted plant at some point. Hey, being a potted plant happened to our Wild Magic's sorceress on Tuesday. 2 Tuesdays ago, I want to say. All right, our Marine's ideal is number 2. Code. We have another chaotic evil person with a lawful ideal, and it can work. That's fine. The Marine's code provides a solution for every problem, and following it is imperative. So he goes by the book, but he probably improvises. He uses the book as a, you know, all right, so it says here to, you know, weather the storm, this is what we have to do. Now we're going to do it in my way, but we know what we have to do. He only follows the book to the minimum of the letter. I bet life as a potted plant is rather relaxing. I would imagine so, Lazy Monkey. And hey, Bobo, welcome. Good morning to you. Bobo's another one of the channel old-timers. All right, now we have our Surgeon's Bond. Number 1. I face danger and evil to offset an unredeemable act in my past. Everyone, what did this person do? Something happened in his past that he's sailing to try and make the world a better place in some way. Now, of course, that's in his own understanding of what would be better and who the enemies were. So I don't want to get caught up on lawful good paladins chase the chaotic evil character, because he's the hero of his own story. I face danger and evil to offset an unredeemable act in my past. Well, what did our former soldier do? Did he actually leave someone behind and he broke the code? Did he, I don't know, did he sink a ship that was actually an orphanage? You know, it was a non-military target, and he feels horrible for it. Did he insult someone or set a chain of events in motion that led to someone he knew getting hanged as a pirate? Hey, Coffee, welcome. Could literally give him a Marine's code book. Could be missing some pages or bits of pages. He fills in the blanks how he likes. Ah, old port. Yeah, it's an old copy, and so he's had to try and remember. The bits to fill in. He cast Fireball on himself and sank his previous ship. Hey, a wild magic sorcerer could do that. Fighting monsters so long, he became a monster himself. Ooh. Has he always been a Lizardfolk then? You know, was he a tiefling that ended up going into some haunted marine cave and succumbed to a curse that gave him scales? And so we have a tiefling, but he's actually a Lizardfolk because he was changed. Maybe he was involved in the very people. Ah, there we go, Fallon. Oh, hi, says Coffee. The Imperial Infantryman's Uplifting Primer, Marine Edition. Oh my goodness. I have a copy of that, Lazy Monkey, and the Uplifting Primer is absolutely amazing. He was a Tabaxi, so there's the Tabaxi that Fallon wanted. And lastly, his flaw is number 4. I hold grudges and have difficulty forgiving others. I hold grudges and I have difficulty forgiving others, which is including himself. And that's the moral lesson. Can you forgive others if you don't forgive yourself for your own mistakes? He turned into a lizard, his dagger turned into a cat. All right, so here is the content for him being a Marine for his background. I want to hop over real quick and let's find out what this dagger or trinket is in Chapter 5 of the Player's Handbook. I'm going to roll a percentile set and we will find out what it is. We'll find out together, everyone. 8. Trinket number 8 is a small idol depicting a nightmarish creature that gives you unsettling dreams when you sleep near it. And this is from the prompt, something that he picked up from a fallen comrade. And was that fallen comrade the person he left behind? And so he grabbed this comrade's favorite item. The comrade he thinks haunts the item is preventing him from sleeping restfully. Ooh, how about that? And he broke the Marine code by leaving someone behind. They're on the same ship, Zulerpai. A small idol depicting a nightmarish creature that gives you unsettling dreams when you sleep near it. And you know what? If it's not from a fallen comrade, maybe he found that on his adventures. It doesn't have to be from a fallen... It could be from a living comrade. It could be just a treasure that he picked up along the way. It could be a lot of different things, but there's our prompt to think about. And how does that get incorporated into our character? Does the lack of sleep cause him to be kind of twitchy, and that's part of the chaotic evil expression of himself? My little Shoggoth, my little Shoggoth. Ooh. Madness is magic. The trinket, yeah, so the trinket could be a corrupting influence if we're going to make more chaotic evil characters, right? All right, now that we have our background, let's take a look real quick to what the surgeon position is going to be granting him. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-deep-dup day. The ship surgeon tends to injuries, keeps illnesses from spreading throughout the ship, and oversees sanitation. A capable surgeon benefits from a high intelligence score, as well as proficiency with herbalism kits and the medicine skill. Alright, so let's give him the medicine skill. And tools, herbalism kit. And we are going to mark intelligence as being our highest initial stat. Prior to any other stat bumps. Alrighty. Now I need to open up Volo's Guide to Monsters so that we can take a look at what Lizardfolk get. The Lizardfolk's reptilian nature comes through not only in their appearance, but also in how they think and act. Lizardfolk experience a more limited emotional life than other humanoids. Like most reptiles, their feelings largely revolve around fear, aggression, and pleasure. Lizardfolk experience most feelings as detached descriptions of creatures and situations. For example, humans confronted by an angry troll experience fear on a basic level. Their limbs shake, their thinking becomes panicked and jumbled, and they react by instinct. The emotion of fear takes hold and controls their actions. In contrast, Lizardfolk see emotions as traits assigned to other creatures, objects, and situations. A Lizardfolk doesn't think, I'm scared. Instead, aggressive, stronger creatures register to the Lizardfolk as fearsome beings to be avoided if possible. If such creatures attack Lizardfolk flee, fighting only if cornered. Lizardfolk aren't scared of a troll. Instead, they understand that a troll is a fearsome, dangerous creature and react accordingly. Lizardfolk never become angry in the way others do, but they act with aggression towards creatures that they could defeat in a fight. We're getting we're getting this culture. He may very well represent this culture. He could be an individual that breaks it, much like our chaotic evil Loxodon sort of temptress that we made. Calculating. So these are aspects to consider for the character, but they don't always have to apply. We already have our character's heart of hearts. We know his personality. And if we treat him as an individual, we can understand perhaps the society from which he comes, but he himself may not react the same way that others do, especially given all of his very unique circumstances. Or if we wanted to say that he was a tiefling or a tabaxi and was cursed to have scaly skin. And so he's a lizard folk that way. Oh, and look at this. We're getting a nice lizard folk quirk. Our lizard folk quirk is number 5. Lizard folk quirk 5. You have learned to laugh. You use this talent in response to all emotional situations to better fit in with your comrades. What is our personality trait number 2? I laugh loudly and see the humor in stressful situations. So here you have the ship surgeon who's who is, you know, concerned for the shipmate that's being brought up from the rowboat after the shark attack. And he's over the railing looking down, and just with his can he really smile with that mouth? Just kind of opens his mouth. Look at the way look at the way his leg dangles. I bet his pants are the only thing holding it on. Come on, bring him up. Come on. Yeah, let's see if we can save that leg or just use it to go fishing. I'm really concerned for your health. Oh, do I fit in? Are you comfortable? Yeah, exactly. We're gonna die. Oh boy, we have a laughing possible sadist. This might get on. Andy's the ship's surgeon. Hey, Hypnotic. Welcome back. Friendship is madness. There we go. What minis do I have? Hypnotic Gamer. I have just opened up a new brick of Monster Menagerie 3. So I have all 8 boxes of that left. I opened a new brick of Ravnica. So I have all 8 of those here. Ravnica is an 1118. Monster Menagerie 3 is a 1322. I have 1 box of Storm King's Thunder remaining. And then I have 2 Dragon Heists. That's an 1118 also. I have 2 Dragon Heists. And I have 6 Tomb of Annihilations. Time for this monkey to sleep. Have fun. All right, lazy monkey. He could totally quarantine sick people to the point they experience what he did. It made me stronger. This is for your own good. Bye. I hope I hope you can feel better, Hypnotic. If it's some tummy troubles that's plaguing you. I joked earlier that he might be the guy to say, "Congratulations, you are now the proud owner of a new tentacle arm." I'm pretty sure he would break the news while on the floor having a giggle fit. All right, so let's see what traits we're getting for our Lizardfolk Marine Surgeon here. Our Constitution score increases by 2. Man, we have some hardy sailors. And our Wisdom score increases by 1. So our Loxodon and our Lizardfolk here are up there.
2 Puls of Dragon Heist and 1 Ravnica, please.
Oh, all right, so both the pulls of Dragon Heist and 1 of Ravnica. Yes, ma'am. I'll pop those open here shortly when we get through this character. Are you, like, do you have some time, or do you need these popped immediately because you got to go to bed or something? So O'Sheeps can relate to this character. You have some time? All right, Hypnotic. We'll continue to go through character creation, and then we'll pull your boxes at the end of it. Let's see. Our speed is 30, 15, 15, and 0. Oh, I'm sorry. We have a swim speed of 30, everyone. So we have a climb speed of 15, but we have a swim speed of 30. We have 2 awesome, like, bestial humanoids who have awesome interactions with water in 2 different unique ways. One has a natural swim speed, and the other has a natural snorkel. We also have a bite. Your fanged maw is a natural weapon. Well, so is our Loxodon's trunk. These are definitely a yin and a yang here, 2 sides of the same coin. So we have a bite, which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with it, you deal piercing damage equal to 1d6 plus strength mod. So piercing 1d6 plus strength. We'll put a note here. We are a cunning artisan. As part of a short rest, you can harvest bone and hide from a slain beast, construct, dragon, monstrosity, or plant creature of size small or larger to create one of the following items: a shield, a club, a javelin, or 1d4 darts or blowgun needles. To use this trait, you need a blade, such as a dagger, or appropriate artisan's tools, such as leatherworker tools. We have a fisher who's willing to just sort of like suplex sharks in order to bring them back up on ship. Let alone the stuff he could weave out of kelp and all this. This cunning artisan trait is actually going to be really good aboard a ship. And also, if he needs some custom medical tools, because, I don't know, they don't have it, or because we kind of have a crew of misfits, where perhaps a regular bone saw or needle and thread for sutures won't work, he can adapt. And he can kind of jury rig some stuff together in a pinch. We can hold our breath for 15 minutes at a time. Nice. Hold breath 15 minutes. Hunter's Lore. You gain proficiency with 2 of the following skills of your choice: animal handling, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. Well, we already have survival. Let's see. I speak rarely but mean every word I say. I laugh loudly and see the humor in stressful situations. The Marines Code provides a solution for every problem, and following it is imperative. I face danger and evil to offset an unredeemable act in my past. I hold grudges and have difficulty forgiving others. Well, he has survival, so let's see. If he was captured and held for months and possibly tortured or put through a grueling trial. Let's see. Perhaps animal handling could be interesting for him to have. Maybe as he was captured, he learned to talk to mice or rats or something, or the animals that he was captured with became his friends. He might not necessarily be stealthy. I mean, he was captured after all. However, you know what? Nature. Maybe a knowledge of nature could work well. Because if we know the medicinal properties of plants or animals, then that could help us find cures or make tools or, determine if something is poisonous or not. So let's give him nature and animal handling. Natural armor. You have tough, scaly skin. When you aren't wearing armor, your AC is 13 plus your dex mods. He can be naked also. We have 2 naked officers. They are just au naturel. You can use your natural armor to determine your AC. So that's going to be 13 plus dex modifier. And just to make sure, so she had natural armor, which was 12 plus con plus shield. So we have a note on that. Okay. In battle, you can throw yourself into a vicious feeding frenzy. As a bonus action, you can make a special attack with your bite. If the attack hits, it deals its normal damage, and you gain temporary hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. And you can't use this trait again until you finish. Oh, so you can eat your enemies. Oh, goodness. Well, you have to learn how to survive somehow. Hungry Jaws. And lastly, languages. You can speak, read, and write Common and Draconic. Lizardfolk can master Common, but their mindset results in a speech pattern distinct from other humanoids. Lizardfolk rarely use metaphors. So they literally say everything that their speech is almost always literal. They might pick up idioms, but only with some difficulty. Names confuse them unless they're descriptive. They tend to apply their own naming conventions to other creatures using common words. Lizardfolk use active verbs to describe the world. A lizardfolk in cold weather might say, "This wind brings cold," rather than "I feel cold." Lizardfolk tend to define things in terms of actions rather than effects. That's a cool role-playing note. Literally, yes. So Hypnotic, we have two people who are very self-confident about themselves, are very natural and free, and neither of them have to wear any kind of armor to have wonderful defensive capabilities. Hey, One Crit, welcome. We are making our second Ghost of Saltmarsh inspired character. We have a chaotic evil male lizard folk who is a wild magic sorcerer and has the background of a marine and is also our ship's surgeon. All right, so there we go. This is what we get from our background and our race. Now it's time to head over to... Whoop, not that. There we go. It's time to head over to the player's handbook and go to classes, sorcerer, and build a 19th level wild magic sorcerer. Never trust a literal speaker. So we're going to get, ta-da, almost everything. Isn't that wonderful? Our proficiency bonus is a +6. We are going to add some sorcery points. I love this little sidebar here for this. We're going to have 19 sorcery points. We are a D6 hit die class. And so as we're level 19, we have 19 D6 to use to heal ourselves on rests without magic or the like. It's just sort of, collecting ourselves. We get no armor proficiencies, which is fine because we have our scales. Weapon proficiencies: daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows. So weapons, I'm just going to put sorcerer weapons to make the list shorter. Our saving throws are going to be Constitution and Charisma. And now we get to choose 2 skills from Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion. I want to say Insight. If he's honestly trying to understand people and mimic them, even if it's by laughing inappropriately, or to hold a grudge, I think Insight is going to be important for him to have. As well, probably Intimidation. As this Marine, as someone who's grizzled, he was captured and tortured. Some bad stuff has happened. This also might be a way to try and cow others as a natural defense. So Intimidation can probably work here. I don't think he's trying to persuade people into anything. Someone who literally talks garbage. A littering speaker. Oh, someone who talks garbage. Got it. Let's see. We're going to know 6 cantrips. Dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you want to put the level at which you get them too, you can, just as I do on the spell list on the back end. All right. Equipment at this level, honestly, I mean, we could give him a crossbow, a component pouch, or whatever, but this isn't really going to matter for a level 19 character. So yeah, I mean, we can go through the motion, give him a light crossbow and 2 daggers. But he probably has a couple extra tricks up his sleeve. All right. Cantrips. We're gonna do that later. We get Font of Magic, so that's going to give us sorcery points and flexible casting. we are going to know meta magic. And in fact, we're going to know 4 meta magic abilities. You can use only 1 meta magic on a spell. Okay, so we'll come back to that in just a second. And we're almost at Sorceress Restoration. At 20th level, you regain 4 expended sorcery points whenever you finish a short rest. And so let's take a look here. We get to choose 4 of these meta magic abilities for our character. And I want to make sure that they're thematic to his personality, his background, or his role on the ship. So I speak rarely, but I mean every word I say. I laugh loudly and see humor in stressful situations. The Marine's code provides a solution for every problem, so he's a problem solver. I face danger and evil to offset an unredeemable act in my past, so he has this conviction. He himself also was a prisoner, which might mean that subtle spell would be important. When you cast a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to cast it without any somatic or verbal components. That one might actually, I think that's almost an auto include here, based on who he is. You're going to dip for the night? Really want to see what this character ends up? Old Port, hey, thanks for being around as long as you have. And yeah, you can catch it on the VOD. You can catch it on YouTube when I upload it probably Monday. And I'll also upload the PDF also to the channel. What else would he take, given his nature? Speak rarely, mean every word I say. Oh, you know what? He's very aggressive. We have a very aggressive person. And so I think that empowered spell to reroll our damage dice. Empowered spell, I think, would be big for him. Now, he is the ship's surgeon, and he does know and care about teamwork. Careful spell could be in the mix, especially if we have an offensive wizard. And so that could go into his teamwork, right? He wants to try and right wrongs, but sometimes you got to make those tough decisions. So I think careful spell would work for him. And let's see. Maybe not distance spell. I mean, well, he was a Marine, sailing, having advantage in that regard on being able to assault other ships could be important. A heightened spell, though, this is definitely him. This is him, like, forcing his will on other people. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effects, you can spend 3 sorcery points to give 1 target of the spell disadvantage on its first saving throw. And I think that would come across as this very imposing figure. This figure, you know, he didn't break, but he will cause other people to break. And so I think heightened spell would work. Hey, Tackler. So this channel, we do a couple things. On Tuesdays, I practice what I preach in our workshops by running an ongoing campaign with members of the community. So every Tuesday is a role-playing game. Wednesday through Saturday, we run D&D workshops, and it's usually thematic around something. Kind of a bread and butter situation would be we end up randomly generating 5 characters, exploring them, making them viable, understandable. You know, any of us could pick up this character sheet and make decisions for him or her. Then some kind of a setting, and we go through, we have some worksheets we use to generate settlements and terrain. We'll do map making. We'll create NPCs and villains. And so a lot of it are just exercises, are workshops in different aspects of playing or running D&D. This week, it's a bit of a fusion because we're going over the new content that's in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh which has just recently come out. And so on Wednesday and Thursday, we went over some of the crunch inside the rules inside the supplement. I don't want to touch the stories because I want you to play through those. Today and tomorrow, let's make Saltmarsh themed characters using the custom backgrounds and the officer roles that are described in the back of the book. I hope that's a good synopsis. However, if you still have questions, I'll answer them, and you'll probably find that there's other people in the audience who can answer your questions too. But welcome aboard, Tackler. All right, now from our Wild Magic archetype, we are going to get Wild Magic Surge. We are going to get Tides of Chouse. Bend Luck. Because sometimes you might want to save someone from the shark. We're also going to get Controlled Chaos. And Spell Bombardment. Pardon. Beginning at 18th level, the harmful energy of your spells intensifies. When you roll damage for a spell and roll the highest number possible on any of the dice, choose one of the dice, roll it again, and then add that roll to the damage. You can use this feature once per turn. Ooh. Heavy damage dealer. And of course, there's our Wild Magic Surge. Tides of Chouse. All right, this is what we get for being a sorcerer. Actually, there's one other thing. One more thing, Jackie. Let's put our spells down. We don't need to choose which spells that we have just yet, but I want to show you how the spells are going to lay out. So we are a sorcerer. Our spellcasting ability is a Chaw. And we are going to have sorcery points. We're going to have 19 of them because we're 19th level. Isn't that funny how that works? We have 6 cantrips. Our spell slots are going to be 4, 3, 3, 3, and 3. 2, 2, 1, and 1. Now, if we go through spells known, the way I'm presenting this is if we just take the spells that we could get at the level. We don't shuffle them around or anything along those lines. And I'll show you how you can switch up your spells as a sorcerer after we finish this as an exercise. But we know 2 spells at level 1. And then there's our level 2. And it's going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you'll notice when we go to level 11, we will get another spell. But if you look here, we still only know 12 spells between 11th and 12th. And so we're not going to get a new one until 13, and then 15, and then 17. And at that point, we don't get any new spells. And so we have level 11, 13, 15, and 17 is our final spell. So this would be the standard layout for our sorcerer. Now, as you level up, if you find that you're not using a spell, you can replace the spell with another spell for which you have slots to cast. So let's say that we just hit 5th level spell casting, right? We hit level 10. And we haven't used this level 4 spell in a while, and we definitely want another level 5 spell. We could we can do that when we level up. Or you can go in reverse. Are there no level 5 spells that are really calling out to you? Then take another first level spell. A lot of them can scale up through your different slots. So a level 1 spell can be a level 9 spell if you empower it as such. So you can play around with your magic. You're not permanently fixed into the spells you get at that level. Do I speak other languages? Well, I did take 4 years of French in high school, and I only remember je parle un peu de français. I can only speak a little French anymore. And I took about 4 years of Japanese in college because I'm a big old weeaboo. But I have not gotten to practice it in so long that despite even visiting the country, I don't have any Japanese friends that I can practice with. So I lost my Japanese and my French skills. And so I've just had to double down on English and learn to speak English gooder. Okay, it is now time, everyone, to drop our engine into our character. We're going to use the standard array of scores. And dun, 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 here we go. Now, I did say that we would put our highest starting score in intelligence, as that is what is important to the surgeon. And so we have fulfilled our obligation to get our bonus skills and tools. It's self-imposed. The Saltmarsh doesn't tell you to do that. You can use the officer places in lieu of a background if you want. You'd have to come up with your own other things. Or you can do what I do and just tack them on, because officers are going to be above average anyway. Even for a level 1 character, they're just going to be more skilled in more things. And so it's not really game breaker if someone's an officer to just give them the officer package. Oh, you don't understand? Japanese, Fallon? Oh, zanen desu ne. He doesn't seem very charismatic. I don't know. I think he'd be very charismatic. Now, he may come across as rude, but he definitely has a presence of his laughter. Everyone knows him. Everyone can see him, can listen to him. I think that he has an amazing presence aboard the ship. So there's our 15. Our 14 is probably going to go into charisma. We should be rather dexterous. Actually, let's put our 14... Should we put our 14 in dex? Let's put our 13 in dex. We have a tough cookie. 12 constitution. 10 wisdom. And 8 strength. Actually, no. Let's put the 12 in wisdom, because that was part of his survival. And we're going to put the 10 in constitution, but that natural 2 is going to bump that up. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Yeah, you would not forget this guy, especially if he's your surgeon. All right, so if we have this as our layout, that's going to be a 12 con and a 13 wisdom. Before I assign our 4 ability score improvements, we technically get 5, but we rolled that one of those is going to be replaced by a feat. And so let's take a look at the feats that are available to us in Chapter 6 of the Player's Handbook. As well, actually, the Lizardfolk might get some racial feats. Contents. Assorted beasts, non-player characters, monster lists, maps of lairs, character races, monster lore, and that's just an index. So, okay, I guess there are not monster feats? Height and weight. Not offhand. Unless I'm missing something. In which case, please point it out. Alright, so if there's no racial feats, then let's go to the general feats section in Chapter 6. You're falling asleep? Can we... yes, hypnotic. We are... In fact, this is going to be... I'm not going to go through the spells. This is the last part of building our character. And in fact, I can even put the stats in after... if we just drop in the feat first. So, we have someone... who's gone through all this. Mimicry, dramatics. I don't know if he's an actor. Well, an actor. He does try and mimic people in his own way. That could be interesting, actually, because he does want to try and simulate people, because he has a hard time understanding them. I speak rarely, but I mean every word I say. I laugh loudly. I face danger. I hold grudges. I don't know. Maybe not. Elemental Adept. You gain this feat. Choose one of the following damage types. The spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of the chosen type. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell that deals damage, you can treat any one as a 2. Ooh, Elemental Adept and giving him something like lightning or whatever element that he would he'd take up. That could be good because we definitely have an assault sorcerer here. You're an able physician, allowing you to mend wounds quickly and get your allies back in the fight. You gain the following benefits. When you use a healer's kit to stabilize a dying creature, they also regain 1 hit point. As an action, you can spend 1 use of a healer's kit to tend to a creature and restore 1d6 plus 4, plus additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit dice. Creature can't regain hit points from his feet again until it finishes a short or long rest. So that could make him a healer, if we really wanted to. So, you know, he's a sorcerer, so he can cure some hit points on a certain roll of wild magic, but that's not a guarantee. So healer could be very good. Inspiring leader could be good, because he could just bolster people and just look at them and say, men, don't die. Don't die. Don't die out there. You're going to have to come back, and I get to put you together. That could be fun. Observant could be good if you see a creature's mouth while speaking. You know, well, he doesn't speak too often. I don't know about that then. You cast a spell. The spell's range is doubled. Your ranged spell attacks ignore. Ooh, that could be a good one too. Spell Sniper. You learn 1 cantrip that requires an attack roll. Choose the cantrip from Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock. And depends on what you choose from. That could be interesting as well, actually. To give him that little bit of extra... In fact, that would replace the meta magic that we considered for him being a long-range caster. If he just takes Spell Sniper, that could be interesting. Sheeps. I mean, our Loxodon may very well do that. I'd be inspired to take as little damage as possible. That's right, Fallon. Well, I want to make a decision here because I do owe some boxes to Hypnotic Gamer. So let's go with Spell Sniper or a healer would be very economical because you don't have to worry about expending as many. You know what? Let's do that. He's the ship surgeon. He is a healer. Awesome. At that point, then, we would just... he's earned a name, everyone, if you have a name suggestion. From here, though, I mean, we're going to fill in our 4... We have 8 points to distribute through the scores. And I mean, we could do so pretty quickly, but I'll wrap this up after I finish opening up Hypnotic Gamer's boxes, because I do owe those, and she's been amazingly patient in regards to this. It just so happens that we ended up making a very high-level character with some things to think about here. So we'll this is going to be on hold, and let's pull your boxes, Hypnotic.